Hi, welcome along to Arsenal Fan TV, and this is the aftermath. Well, it's good to be back with the aftermath. New season, new game. You know what? Earlier on, I was watching the aftermath from last season, and I'll tell you what, this aftermath ain't going to be like that. The first game of last season, the first game of this season. Not the greatest performance by Arsenal, but a victory. And as we've seen with some of the results over the weekend, Man United, hint, hint, right? It's never a given on the opening day. Teams are fresh. They're ready for the battle. And we found out yesterday against Crystal Palace. They came, even though they're without a manager, they were full of energy. They closed us down. They gave us no space. They harassed the players in the middle of the park. And it was hard work out there. They went 1-0 up, but full credit to the boys. They got back just before half-time with that goal by Koscielny and then battled away in the second half. I mean, in all fairness, Crystal Palace offered nothing going forward, did they? I mean, Szczesny, he could have got a bed out and had a sleep. He literally had nothing to do. But listen, we plugged away, and who props up at the end with a massive goal, as he's been doing now for, a couple of seasons, and it was Aaron Ramsey. Brilliant by him, and securing all 3 points and getting us off to a great start. And there were some good performances in there, because you've got to remember, we had 3 players making their debuts. Alexis Sanchez, who, he had a bit of a shaky start. Remember, these guys are going to be nervous. Even a massive player like Alexis Sanchez, he knows he's on the centre stage. He knows everybody's watching to see what he's made of. And he looked a little nervous, and he battled and tried little things. A lot of them didn't come off. He looked a little bit rusty, but you could see the qualities there. You can see that once this guy gets used to the flow of the Premier League, gets used to the physicality, he is going to be a major, major player for Arsenal. Debuchy, who I was very impressed with yesterday and have been impressed with since he's joined, didn't look out of place at all at Arsenal. Bombing forward, defending, he was full of energy, and so far so good with Matthew Debuchy. Really like the look of him. And Callum Chambers, what can I say? 19-year-old kid, playing as a centre back, which is not really his position. Remember, he's really a right back, and he just looked brilliant. I mean, the kid's just so composed. What more can I say? This is a future star in the making, and who says there's not great players in England? There are those players there, and Arsene Wenger looks like he's just discovered another one. Let's get into see what you guys had to say about the game yesterday. John Pate simply said, the best is still to come, and I agree with him there 100%. Dexter says, rusty at times, but the WD-40 was our desire to win, and it sorted out all that rust. And he said, we'll get stronger, especially when Ozil and BFG returns, which BFG, I'm not sure if we would have conceded that goal from Hangland, where we had nobody on the post, where we looked completely disorganised. We definitely need Mertesacker back. He organises that. He's a real leader there, gets everything organised at the back. And last year, we weren't conceding loads of goals from set pieces, so it'd be good to get him back in there to organise things. Toby says, 3 points, no fluency in passing, striker's not good enough. Got done by a set piece again, and yet another injury. Gibbs looks like he picked up a hamstring injury. Yet another injury for Gibbs. Seems so injury prone for a talented player, but always getting injured. Again, not at our best. A lot of people are saying that we might need a striker. I don't think Arsene Wenger is going to bring in a striker. I was looking at the strikers available. There doesn't seem to be many out there, unless you're going to go real big for somebody like Cavani. But it's still too early to tell. Sonogo wasn't the greatest yesterday. Giroud didn't have long to really get into the game. But listen, I still think there's lots of goals in the Arsenal team. Luma7 says, Santi on the left is not on. Now, this is a thing that I'm not a fan of either. I don't like seeing Santi Cazorla on the left-hand side. I've been harking on about it for ages. Santi through the middle, brilliant. But on the left, he always drifts back inside because that's just his natural position. and then it leaves the left backs exposed on the counter attack, and he's not suited to playing out there. And I really hope that either we have to put Sanchez out there or Ozil out there, or we need to get somebody to play out there, but it's not Santi's position, and I don't like seeing him out there. And when he's out there against the really, really top teams, we will get punished. Not saying anything bad about Santi, he's a brilliant player, but I just want to see him in the middle of the park. Liban says it was a hard game to play because Palace were parking the bus. The positives were Chambers at centre-back. He was impressive yet again. Aaron says, thought it was a champion's performance. You don't play at your best, and even so, and win at the last minute. Rob says, Chambers was solid. Debuchy slotted in instantly. Sanchez showed glimpses of being world-class, and Rambo just picked up where he left off. Stuart Hasty says, I found it hard to watch. The passing was poor. Players were poor. Impressive Debuchy and Chambers. We need a centre-back, a CDM and a striker. I don't know about hard to watch. Listen, we deserved to win the game. We were the only team really trying to win the game. But listen, as I said, once again, as you've seen from the weekend, it's been difficult to break down these teams. Michael Arsenal says, good win yesterday, but we still need a holding midfielder, another centre-back and another striker. We all know that. Let's hope that Arsene Wenger knows that. And finish with this one. Thomas Love, he says, showed composure and desire in the final minutes, which is a big change from last season. We're poised to win it all, he says. I hope he's right. I hope we do win it all. Still a lot of work to be done. Still a lot of players looking rusty there, but it's a win. And that's 3 points. Nobody's going to remember about the performance or anything come this time next year. All they're going to remember is we won 3 points, and that's what it's all about. So it's a great start for Arsenal. Now we move on to that game on Tuesday night against Besiktas. Listen, we can't afford to mess about with that. That's, to get us through to the Champions League group stages. We must put in a better performance against Besiktas. We must defend better. They've got Demba Ba, who's a very, very good player. He knows about Arsenal as well. So we're really going to have to put in a top performance on Tuesday night so that we can bring them back to the Emirates and be in a commanding position. Let's try and get a couple of away goals out there. But listen, we need to hit the ground running in that game. It'll be interesting to see if Mertesacker will be back for that one. This is the thing, after a World Cup, so many of these players are very rusty. Don't forget to check out all the videos from the weekend. Some brilliant stuff, brilliant videos as usual from the fans. It was great to catch up with Chris Hudson, who feeling very optimistic about the season. So check out his video. Although, knowing Chris as I do, he did have a few little issues. So make sure you check that video out. And we got some great, outstanding videos to come throughout the week. So don't forget to check those out. Don't forget, join our fantasy football team. If you haven't already joined, look in the link down below and you can get the link to join our fantasy football team. And if you haven't already got our brilliant app, get hold of that app. You can be mobile and follow Arsenal Fan TV wherever you are. And of course, subscribe. So thanks for watching the first aftermath of the season. We started off with a victory. It's on to Besiktas away, then Everton away. Some difficult games coming up, as a matter of fact. But listen, the team's looking good at the moment, and I'm feeling good about the new season.
Available on Apple and Android now. Available on Apple and Android now.